The lobby of the Caldwell Grand in downtown Chicago looked like a polished dream. Crystal chandeliers scattered warm light across marble floors. A soft piano playlist floated through hidden ceiling speakers. The air smelled like fresh citrus and expensive perfume. The kind of place where people spoke in calm voices because even their whispers sounded expensive. And right in the center of it all, standing near the front desk with a small suitcase and a worn leather tote, was a woman who didn't match what the lobby expected. Her name was Simone Harris. She wore simple clothes, dark jeans, flat shoes, and a plain gray sweater that had seen better days. Her hair was pulled into a neat bun, no flashy jewelry, no designer handbag, no loud confidence, just quiet. She waited patiently while the receptionist clicked through screens. "Ms. Harris," the young woman said with a polite smile. "I'm not seeing it yet, but sometimes our system lags. Could you confirm the last name again?" "Harris," Simone replied calmly. "Reservation under Simone Harris. 2 nights. Executive suite." Behind Simone, the lobby doors opened and closed as guests drifted in. Men in tailored coats, women in heels, people carrying luggage that looked newer than Simone's entire outfit. Simone didn't seem bothered, but someone else was. From across the lobby, a man watched her like she was a stain on a white carpet. Derek Caldwell, the hotel's general manager. He was tall, clean-shaven, and dressed in a perfectly fitted charcoal suit. A gold nameplate pinned to his chest caught the light every time he moved. He walked with the confidence of someone who believed the building itself belonged to him. Derek had been running the Caldwell Grand for 5 years, and he had a reputation, not for kindness, for control. Employees feared him. Guests with money loved him because he treated them like royalty. Everyone else, he treated like a problem. Derek stared at Simone for a moment, then strode toward the front desk with a forced smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Is there an issue here?" he asked. The receptionist, her name tag read Lily, hesitated. "I'm just trying to locate Ms. Harris's reservation," Lily said. "Sometimes the system—" Derek cut her off with a small wave. "Let me handle it." He turned his attention to Simone like she was being interviewed for entry into a private club. "Ma'am," Derek said, voice smooth but sharp, "this is a high-occupancy weekend. Conference guests, corporate clients. We can't afford confusion at check-in." Simone's eyes lifted to his. "There's no confusion," she said. "I have a reservation." Derek gave a small chuckle, the kind that made other people in the lobby glance over. "An executive suite?" he repeated. "At this property?" Simone didn't flinch. "Yes," she said. Derek leaned slightly toward her, lowering his voice as if he was doing her a favor. "Listen," he said. "If you made a reservation at one of our other locations, I can help redirect you. But this hotel has standards. It's not a shelter, and it's not a walk-in discount place." Simone stared at him. A few seconds passed. Then she said quietly, "I didn't ask for a discount." Derek's smile tightened. "No, you asked for an executive suite," he said, "which is $1,200 a night, plus deposit." "I'm aware," Simone replied. Derek turned to Lily. "Did she provide a credit card?" he asked. Lily glanced down. "She hasn't yet," Lily said. "I was trying to—" Derek snapped his fingers once. "Then we are not proceeding," he said. Simone reached into her tote slowly, pulling out a slim wallet. Derek's eyes tracked every movement like a security camera. Simone placed a card on the counter. Derek didn't pick it up right away. He glanced at it with suspicion. Then he picked it up, turned it over, and his eyebrows rose. It wasn't a basic card. It was black. Not just black plastic, matte black, heavy with a subtle metallic edge. The kind of card people didn't carry unless they were used to doors opening for them. Derek's expression changed for half a second. Then he masked it. He slid the card back. "Ma'am," he said, "do you have a valid government ID?" Simone placed her ID on the counter. Derek picked it up. He stared at it longer than necessary. Then he looked back at Simone. "Simone Harris," he read aloud, as if he needed the lobby to hear. Simone didn't react. Derek's jaw tightened. "This card," he said, tapping it, "could be stolen. Do you have proof this reservation is yours?" Lily's eyes widened. "Mr. Caldwell," Lily whispered, "we can just run the card and—" Derek shot her a look so cold she stopped mid-sentence. Simone's voice stayed calm. "You can run the card," she said. Derek ignored that. "Proof," he repeated. "Email confirmation. Booking number. Something." Simone reached into her tote again. She pulled out her phone, opened her email, and turned the screen toward him. Derek took the phone without asking. He scrolled. Then he frowned. The confirmation was there. 2 nights. Executive suite. The Caldwell Grand, Chicago. And yet Derek's face showed annoyance, not relief, because what bothered him wasn't the missing reservation. What bothered him was that Simone was right. He handed the phone back abruptly. "This could be fabricated," he said. A couple sitting in the lounge area looked over, curious now. Simone's expression remained steady, but her eyes held something deeper, something that didn't belong to a weak woman being cornered. It looked like patience, the kind you only develop when you've seen worse. Derek leaned closer. "Tell me the truth," he said, voice low. "Who are you, really? Because we get people trying to sneak into places like this all the time." Simone's gaze didn't move. "I told you who I am," she said. Derek straightened up and signaled toward a security guard near the entrance. "Mark," Derek called. The guard, a broad man in a black uniform, approached. "Yes, sir?" Derek pointed subtly at Simone. "This woman is attempting to check in using an unverified reservation and possibly a stolen card," Derek announced. Simone's head tilted slightly. "That's not true," she said. Derek raised his voice just enough for nearby guests to hear. "Ma'am, you are causing a disruption," he said. "If you cannot provide proper verification, you'll need to leave the property." Lily's face turned pale. "Mr. Caldwell," she said softly. "The reservation matches her ID. The email matches. I can just—" Derek slammed his palm lightly on the counter. "I said I'm handling this," he snapped. The lobby fell quieter. Even the piano music seemed too loud now. Simone looked at Derek, then at the security guard. "I'm not causing a disruption," she said. "I'm checking in." Derek smiled again, that same cruel smile. "You don't look like the kind of guest who books executive suites here," he said. The words landed like a slap. Simone's lips pressed together. There it was. Not policy, not procedure. Judgment. A wealthy white manager with a perfect suit deciding in public that a black woman with simple clothes didn't belong, and Derek didn't even realize how loud his bias sounded because he'd been saying it his whole life, just in different ways. Simone's hands tightened around the handle of her suitcase. For the first time, her voice changed, not louder, just sharper. "Are you refusing to honor my reservation?" she asked. Derek shrugged. "I'm refusing to let this hotel be taken advantage of," he said. The security guard shifted awkwardly. "Sir," Mark said quietly. "If she has ID and a reservation confirmation—" Derek glared. "Are you questioning me?" Mark went silent. Derek turned back to Simone. "This is private property," he said. "You need to leave." Simone looked around. Other guests were watching openly now, some with curiosity, some with discomfort, and some with that familiar expression, the one Simone had seen in boardrooms, restaurants, boutiques. That look that said, "Let's see if she gets put in her place." Simone took a slow breath. Then she reached into her tote and pulled out something else. A folded letter, cream-colored paper, thick, official. She placed it on the counter gently. Derek scoffed. "What is this?" Simone's eyes stayed on his. "Open it," she said. Derek laughed under his breath. "I'm not playing games," he said, but the letter sat there like a dare. And curiosity, mixed with arrogance, made Derek pick it up. He unfolded it. As he read the first line, his smile faded. His eyes moved faster, then slower. Then he swallowed. Lily leaned forward slightly, trying to see. Derek's face began to flush. He read again, as if his brain refused to accept the words. Simone said nothing. The lobby felt frozen. Finally, Derek looked up. His voice came out strained. "Where did you get this?" he asked. Simone's tone was even. "It was sent to me," she said. Derek's hand trembled slightly as he held the letter. Mark, the security guard, looked confused. "What is it, sir?" Mark asked. Derek didn't answer. Instead, he read one line out loud without meaning to. "Effective immediately. The Caldwell Grand Chicago will undergo an internal compliance review." His eyes widened. He lowered his voice. "And the new acting regional owner representative will be..." He stopped. His eyes lifted to Simone. "No, not possible." Simone watched him carefully. The letter wasn't just a letter, it was an appointment notice. A confidential document. It carried the seal of the parent company, and it named Simone Harris. Derek's mouth opened, then closed. Lily whispered, barely audible, "Ms. Harris?" Simone nodded once. Derek's voice cracked. "You're with corporate?" Simone took a small step forward. "I'm corporate," she said. Derek blinked. His mind scrambled for footing. Because the truth, the real truth, was worse than that. Simone wasn't a consultant. She wasn't an auditor. She wasn't some random executive. She was the owner, not just of this hotel, of the entire chain, the Caldwell Hospitality Group, 27 luxury properties across the United States, Chicago, New York, Miami, Los Angeles, Dallas. Every chandelier, every marble floor, every paycheck, all connected back to her. And Derek had just tried to throw her out, in front of everyone. Derek's skin went pale. That's not," he stammered. Simone leaned in slightly, lowering her voice so only he and Lily could hear. "My father built this company," she said, "and when he passed, I inherited it." Derek stared. He'd heard rumors, whispers about the founder's daughter. Some said she lived overseas. Some said she didn't care about the hotels. Some said she'd never show her face. Derek believed those rumors because they made it easy. An invisible owner meant he could run things however he wanted. Simone continued. "I travel quietly," she said. "I stay in my own hotels without warning. I watch. I listen. I see what people do when they think no one important is looking." Derek's eyes flicked to the guests watching, then back to Simone. His voice dropped to a desperate whisper. "Ms. Harris, I didn't know," he said. Simone's expression didn't soften. "That's the point," she replied. Derek swallowed hard. He tried to smile. A different kind of smile now. Panicked. "Of course," he said, louder now, trying to perform for the room. "Of course we have your reservation. There must have been a system delay. Lily, please expedite Ms. Harris to the executive suite. Immediately." Lily stood frozen. Simone didn't move. The air was thick with tension. Derek leaned toward Lily. "Now," he hissed. Lily reached for the keyboard slowly, but Simone held up a hand. "No," she said. Derek stopped. Simone turned her head slightly, addressing him with calm authority. "Don't fix it now," she said. "Don't suddenly become helpful because you think I can ruin you." Derek's face tightened. Simone looked around at the lobby. "At least 10 people witnessed what happened here," she said. "Your staff, your guests, your security." She looked back at Derek. "And you know what the worst part is?" Derek said nothing. "You didn't question my reservation because of policy," Simone said. "You questioned it because of how I looked." Derek tried to protest. "I swear that's not..." Simone cut him off. "Don't lie," she said. A long silence. Then Simone turned to Mark, the security guard. "Thank you for trying to speak up," she said. Mark blinked. "Yes, ma'am," he replied quietly. Simone turned to Lily. "And thank you for doing your job," she said. Lily's eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry," Lily whispered. Simone's voice softened for Lily, but but not for Derek. "It's not your apology to give," Simone said. Then Simone reached into her tote again. She pulled out another document, a clipboard folder. She opened it and looked at the first page. Derek watched, terrified. Simone began reading like someone checking items off a list. "Guest dignity protocol," she said. "Front desk escalation policy. Discrimination complaint procedure." Derek's throat tightened. Simone looked up. "Mr. Caldwell," she said, "how many complaints have you had filed against you?" Derek's face went blank. I don't know," he said. Simone nodded. "You should," she replied, "because I do." Derek's eyes widened. Simone continued. 3 formal HR complaints from staff about verbal abuse. 2 guest complaints about being treated differently based on appearance. 1 complaint from a black family who said you questioned their payment method and asked if they were at the right hotel. Derek shook his head. "That's not what happened," he said. Simone's voice stayed calm. "That's what was reported," she said. "And after tonight, there's more." The guests watching shifted. One man in a business suit pulled out his phone, discreetly recording. Derek saw it and panicked. "Sir," Derek barked, "this is private." Simone lifted a hand. "Let him," she said. Derek stopped. Simone looked Derek in the eye. "You were ready to have security remove me," she said. "Do you know what could have happened to me outside? Do you know how quickly a lie becomes a threat when you label someone a criminal?" Derek's lips parted. He had no answer. Simone's voice lowered. "And you did it so easily," she said. Derek's shoulders sagged. He finally tried honesty. "I made a mistake," he said. Simone nodded. "Yes," she replied. "You did." Then she turned to Lily. "Lily, please print me a copy of the incident report form," Simone said. Lily hesitated. "Right away," she said. Simone turned to Mark. "Mark, I'd like you to write a statement of what you observed," she said. Mark nodded. "Yes, ma'am." Derek's eyes darted between them. "Ms. Harris," he said urgently, "we can talk in my office, privately. I can explain everything." Simone looked at him. "You've had years to explain," she said. "Tonight, I'm listening to everyone else." Minutes passed, paper printed, pens scratched, and Derek stood there, exposed. The man who had once ruled the lobby now looked like he was shrinking inside his suit. Simone filled out the form calmly. Date, time, location, description. Then she wrote one more line that made Derek's heart drop. "Immediate recommendation. Suspension pending investigation." Derek lunged forward slightly. "No," he said, voice breaking. "Please, I have a family. I worked for this." Simone didn't raise her voice. "You didn't work for it," she said. "You used it." Derek's eyes watered, and in that moment, for the first time, he looked like the one with no power. Simone took her card back from the counter. She placed her ID in her wallet. She zipped her tote. Then she picked up her suitcase. Derek spoke again, softer now. "What do you want from me?" he asked. Simone paused. She looked at him. "I want you to remember this feeling," she said, "because you gave it to other people like it was nothing." She turned to Lily. "I'll still take the executive suite," Simone said. "And Lily, please don't let anyone treat you like you're small. Not here, not anywhere." Lily nodded, tears spilling. "Yes, ma'am." Simone started walking toward the elevators. The lobby parted for her, not because of her clothes, not because of her suitcase, but because the truth had finally shown itself. Behind her, Derek stood motionless. The security guard stayed by the desk. Guests whispered. And the chandeliers kept shining like nothing had happened. But something had happened, because Simone didn't come to the Caldwell Grand for luxury. She came for clarity. And she got it. The next morning, at 9 a.m., a corporate team arrived. Not 1, not 2, 5 people. Legal, HR, compliance. and an interim operations director. Derek was called into a conference room. He expected a warning, a slap on the wrist, a quiet deal. Instead, he found Simone seated at the head of the table. Same simple sweater, same calm eyes. But now, no one questioned her. Because every person in that room knew exactly who she was. Simone slid a folder across the table. Inside were printed complaints, employee statements, guest reports, security footage timestamps, and Derek's own signature on prior policy acknowledgments. Derek stared down at the papers like they were a grave. Simone spoke. "Mr. Caldwell," she said, "your employment is terminated effective immediately." Derek's face crumpled. He tried one last attempt. "I can change," he said. "I swear I can." Simone nodded slowly. "I hope you do," she replied. "But you won't do it here." Derek left the building that afternoon carrying a cardboard box, and for the first time in years, he walked through the same lobby without anyone opening doors for him. Weeks later, the hotel's staff noticed changes. A new manager who greeted housekeepers by name, mandatory bias training, anonymous reporting systems, a policy that required managers to honor reservations unless clear fraud was proven, no profiling, no assumptions. And Lily, she got promoted. Not because Simone felt sorry for her, because Lily had done the right thing even when she was scared. One evening, Simone returned to the hotel quietly. She stood near the back of the lobby, watching guests check in. A young couple arrived in simple clothes. The new manager smiled. "Welcome," he said warmly. "We're happy you're here. No suspicion, no humiliation, just dignity." Simone breathed out slowly. This was what she wanted. Not revenge, accountability. Because the real lesson wasn't that Simone owned the hotel. The lesson was that she shouldn't have needed to. A person's humanity shouldn't depend on their bank account. Their respect shouldn't depend on a black card. Their safety shouldn't depend on an invisible title. We never know who someone is, but we always know who we are being. And if you treat people with kindness only when they can punish you, then it's not kindness. It's fear. So the next time you see someone who doesn't look like they belong, remember this. Maybe they're not trying to prove anything. Maybe they're just trying to check in. And maybe the test isn't about whether they belong. Maybe the test is about whether you do.